The revelation gifts are a time where God begins to reveal what is veiled, to make known what is not quickly or easily seen. And you know, if we were to sit at a dinner table where we could kind of talk, and Susie and I did that with 2 other couples last night and talked about the things of God and just shared stories and experiences that God's worked in our lives and things like that, miracles that we've seen and times we just needed God to move and He did something miraculous and telling those kinds of stories. If we were to sit down at a table like that and all begin talking, we would start seeing, oh my word, something bigger than me operated in my life. Something out of my control or something larger than what I have steering capability on. I knew something that I didn't have any way of knowing in my natural capabilities. You know, when you start thinking about it, I know that my mom said to me probably 100 times in my adolescent years, "Moms know everything." And you know, the first few times I heard that, I kind of wanted to call her out on that and say, all right, let's find out. Man, somehow, some way. You know, I don't know if it was that she had an informant following me around or I don't know what it was. But maybe some of that was that she was revealed stuff by God. And I needed it. I can tell you I needed it. Let's start with salvation even. Why are you saved? Because in your spirit, small s, in your spirit, God revealed the message of salvation to you, and it became revelation more than just head knowledge. If you just know the stories, you can know a lot of stories from a lot of different places, and it's head knowledge. But if you're saved today, it's because in your spirit, that revelation has come alive. A truth that already exists in the spirit was made known to you, made understandable to you, made alive to you. The scriptures that have changed your life. You know, before you heard about them, to you, they were part of a larger book. But as you developed a passion for God, as you had your spirit became awakened by God jumping into your life and changing your life, all of a sudden you read through a verse and you go, wow, I never knew it was in there. Wow, that means something now. Wow, I can take that to my own. And now it's a promise from my life and it's become revelation to you. It was something that already existed in the spirit made revealed to you and to me. This is God's heart that we live like that. Even starting as early as salvation. To reveal means it's there, but it's hidden. Someone greater than the veil, V-E-I-L, someone greater than the veil must remove the veil that hides the truth. And that happened in our lives even at salvation. In Matthew chapter 16, you don't have to turn there. I'll just paraphrase the story real quick, but you can write these notes down and go back and look at the story later. In Matthew chapter 16, there's a situation where Jesus says to Peter, I think, he goes, hey, who do people say that I am? And Peter goes, well, they say you're a lot of things. None of those things were bad in the list that Peter said. Matter of fact, if any of us were called some of those things, like prophet, teacher, things like that, we'd probably think, yeah, that's a pretty good way to be classified. And Jesus said, okay, tell me what out there, what folks are saying about me. And Peter said that list. And then Jesus flips the tables and makes it personal. And he goes, who do you say that I am? Peter, who do you say that I am? And Peter, you know, answers it with I feel he, not that he beat around the bush, but he said a couple things before he got to the answer. And as he finally said, you know, you're the Messiah. I count you as the Messiah, Savior of the world. And Jesus' answer is a great understanding of what revelation is. He goes, Peter, what you've said is correct. And it's not been revealed to you by man, but by the Spirit of God. It's been revealed to you. It's been made alive to you. He's always been the Savior of man. But there came a moment where it came alive to Peter so that he begins to declare it. He begins to say it. And following, he's able to live it. So your salvation is because you've said at some point, whether you knelt at an altar or whether you prayed with somebody at a Starbucks or in your living room, that you said, I believe in my heart that what's always existed in the spirit realm, I believe in my heart that Jesus is Lord, and it becomes revelation to you. You're able to believe in that which you can't see. Does that make sense at all to you? Okay, because y'all are quiet. Today, we're going to see that God is looking to open our eyes to things that we just don't understand all the time. We're going to see that in a verse that we're going to get to in just a moment and everything. The first of the revelation gifts that I want to show you today is called the word of knowledge. The word of knowledge, or as we read in the verse earlier, the message of knowledge. The word of knowledge or the message of knowledge. I wrote it two ways on my notes, and that could potentially confuse me on that. But it means basically the same thing, the word of knowledge or the message of knowledge. It can be described or defined as revealed knowledge. Now let me tell you what the word of knowledge is not. It is not some amazing download where now all of a sudden you know everything there is to know. Okay? The word of knowledge is not a revelation of all knowledge, but it's a needed knowledge for a needed time and a needed specific instance. A word of knowledge is a needed knowledge for a specific time and a specific instance. It tends to have the quality that implies that it happens on a per-use basis. Okay? This is not like when you're walking down through the Walmart shopping aisle and you just are looking at snack bars, and all of a sudden, Lord, give me a word of knowledge of how many calories are in that box. It's not like that. It's not like that. God determines that manifestation in your life. It's not a snapping your fingers and just saying, I need this now and I need this now. Lord, where did I put those keys and everything like it's where God says, I see instance that you need something bigger than you. And I'm going to prove to you that my operation in your life is supernatural, and the word of knowledge can come. More information on it. The word of knowledge is about facts and necessary information that we need. Another quality is that it tends to supply necessary information about a situation that will help the situation. Going back to mama knowing everything. There was one time I was camping out with a buddy in the backyard. Just in the backyard, but it was a time of my life where she should have probably camped out there with us if she wanted to know where I was going to be. But that's not what happened. And in the middle of the night, we were going to make plans to sneak out and get out of there and go cruise the neighborhood and do all sorts of mischief and stuff. I know none of you have ever done that, so never. So we made our plan, and we watched our watches, and all the lights went down in the house and everything like that, and we gave it some time, and sure enough, we very quiet. I mean, we were just like stealth guys. We sort of quietly opened the zipper and look out and everything, and it's perfect, and we open up, and we were doing good. And, we were 13 or 14 years old, and don't even think about it, Katie, or Sarah in here. I don't. But we got out. And in order to get out the gate, we had to walk by my bedroom window, which didn't have anything but blinds on it. And as we were walking by, we were just walking so slow and everything. And on my window, the absolute loudest bang happened. And I jumped out of my skin. It was absolutely insane. Both me and my friend were I think he ran back to the tent like a girl. It was just like, it was insane. And I'm standing there in front of my window, and my mom is in there, in her nightgown and rollers and a spatula in her hand. She had hit the window with a spatula, and I was horrified. And mamas can talk with one finger, and you know exactly what they're saying. She's like, you in here right now. And I didn't hear a word she said, but you can bet I was on my way in the house. And I went in there, and you've lost your privilege to be out of course, and all that kind of stuff. You sleep in your bed and I don't even remember the guy's name, and send him home, and that's what happened. And, it was a long time later that we were laughing around a table about that, years later. And I said, Mom, remember that time? And she goes, yeah. And I said, how did you know to get up at